Global peace or global war, global politics is one or the other. So let's talk a little bit about, oh, it looks like it goes backwards. How about over here? I can't do that. Global politics. Interesting little bit of propaganda, to say the least. They have a lot of things that, their side, it's their book. But what is foreign policy? Some pursue many goals, including more power, prestige, and resources. Foreign policy is the articulation of national interests. Okay, national interests. They could be including immigrants. They could be excluding immigrants. But there has to be a reason, right? That's the politics. That's what we're supposed to be dealing with. A little bit of reason, a little bit of logic, a little bit of, thinking about stuff. Well, let's kind of juxtapose things. 1,000 Days, John F. Kennedy in the White House. And here there's a very interesting, and I'm going to read it to you, situation in 1,000 Days, the battle for the hemisphere, and it has to do with when Che Guevara and our ambassador to the UN were discussing what globalism meant and how we were going to proceed. To improve and strengthen democratic institutions through application of the principle of self-determination by the people. No influencing everybody's election process, huh? To accelerate economic and social development. Well, that's the major reason for commerce at this point, is the development of the country. Not necessarily the development of people, but the corporations are serving the government, not the people. To carry out urban and rural housing programs to provide decent homes for all our people. What? Everybody has a house? Wouldn't that be nice? Given that I'm homeless, that'd be real nice. But I'm not complaining because, well, I'm adaptable. I'm resilient. I ain't giving up. At this point, what's different about this during 1963 and today? Because we're a long ways from then. To encourage programs of comprehensive agrarian reform. Agrarian reform? That's what I talk about in the Green Rush General Store. I want an agrarian party. I want us all to be able to get better by putting our fingers in the dirt and knowing what it is that we eat and put in our bodies, and be in the sunshine instead of looking at a YouTube video, perhaps inside somewhere, not getting any sunshine. Leading to the effective transformation, where required, of unjust structures and systems of land tenure and use, with a view to replacing latifundia and dwarf holdings by an equitable system of property, which has turned into the equitable acquisition of equitable properties by the one percenters. That's right, brought to you by Wall Street, where they play with money as though they're playing a game, not that they have a duty to life and survival, and one would hope to making things better rather than worse. I have my doubts. To assure fair wages and satisfactory working conditions to all our workers. Yeah, while the middle class has disappeared. Yeah, well, I don't think we're anywhere near that one. To wipe out illiteracy. I think they decided to make more people illiterate, easier to handle. To press forward with programs of health and sanitation. Sanitation? Have you seen our streets? They took away the garbage cans. They took away any place to use facilities, as we used to call them. No, we don't have any sanitation going on. We've got pandemics practically happening. We can see flus go across the United States and nobody's washing their hands. You know how many people in Berkeley have the diarrhea? Ask where they eat. To reform tax laws. Well, I guess we got that. The corporations got a real big break and people still get to pay taxes. Huh. If I could take things off my taxes, can you imagine how much I'd have to pay? Probably nothing. And by the way, I think it's a good practice to tell the IRS that you do think you've overpaid. They don't really want to do any accountings now, do they? Takes up time. Oh, golly. Punish tax evasion severely, redistribute the national income. Why don't we go after the corporations for stealing the money? They got the bailout. Everybody lost their homes, or they went down in their IRAs. Everybody's money got cut in half practically. Scared to the bone where you don't know if you're going to be able to afford something to eat next year. Yeah, they put the fear in us. And that's all they've got is fear. And quite frankly, they'd better fear. Because all these things I've been reading here, all I can say is there's not one of them that's part of the current Agenda 21, 22, 23, 33, you name it. Their agenda is to have corporate feudal society and convince you to kill yourselves, to be robots, to be, maybe resurrected in a few 100,000 years, to save your head in an iceberg. I don't know. Is there really that much to be afraid of? Because if there is, you got a lot to work on inside. That's all I can say. And that's globalism, past, present, and unfortunately the future unless you wake up. Wake up now, would you? Let's be anti-war. Let's be pro-human. Let's get rid of corporate hegemony. They shouldn't be immortal pieces of paper. Paper normally molds, burns, and all kinds of things. To make a corporation immortal, with a voice that they can lie, with money from all over the world to destroy our system, and then to play mind games. The time has come to stand up and be brave. No cowards left alive, because a coward dies 1,000 deaths. They won't ever be alive for being cowards. Wake up, stand up, be men and women. Do not think that one of you is better than the other. We all stand alone, and if we don't start holding each other together, we will die without having done any good in this world outside of our materialistic passions.